Welcome to Week 6, Day 2 of the Smite Genic Pro League. Today we have two great matches lined up for you guys between Avant, Garde and Ivory Gaming. And Chiefs Esports Club up against the Direwolves. My name is Nightfall and joining me tonight is Timmy. How's it going, Timmy?
Yeah, it's going pretty alright. And it's off weekends where we've got the top 3 teams playing in the one night, so that's pretty hype. But before we get to what I consider to be the main event for tonight, we're going to go ahead and see how Ivory fare against Avant-Garde.
Yeah, and Avant-Garde and Direwolves are undefeated in the Pro League, but I'm really excited to see if someone can take a game from them, especially Chiefs versus Direwolves, because that's going to be an extremely close match.
Well, we saw, Chiefs struggled a little bit against Avant-Garde because it seems as if they don't really play well if they play from far behind, but we'll get into that later on. For now, we're going to go ahead and go into our first picks and bans here for this evening.
Yeah, and right off that we see that Avant-Garde ban Hades against Ivory. Interesting that they don't want Jack to be on that one.
No, Jack's done quite well on Hades, to be honest. Hades wins lane quite well, and then later on he becomes pretty much a pest. He comes in with a Pillar of Agonies, locks people down, fears people or silences them depending on how the Blight passive goes. And he's just all around tanky. It's not something you really want to deal with. After that, Ivory are going to ban out the Alquan.
Yeah, a very standard ban. No one really wants to play against it. He's got huge damage. The cooldown on his Wildstorm, that's his third ability, deals an amazing amount of damage. And his ultimate ability with the Execute gets him out of danger, and then can reinitiate or escape if required. Bellona now banned away from Ivory. Excuse me, Avant.
Another shot at Jack 47. He does play Bellona quite well. Again, he likes these sort of tanky, sturdy gods who can fare well against those team fights and just really cause some havoc. So the solo lane may be taking a bit of a hit here. We'll have to see what he ends up getting in this game, but the final pick for this stage is going to be the Sylvanas.
Yeah, really want to play against that.
No.
Sylvanas has got huge amounts of CC, he's got the sustain, he's got the initiation, he's got everything that you want a support to have. He's got that dispositioning ability on his third ability, that's Nature's Grasp. Extremely, extremely strong for making picks. And the first pickup is going to be Geb from Avant.
Yeah, so they banned away the Sylvanas from Big E. He just turns around and says, "No, don't care, first picking Geb." Which, to me, is a little bit peculiar, because Geb can run into some bad matchups if he's not careful. I'm thinking, an Ares and Athena can also do well against a Geb if they play very well and target the Geb himself. And you generally want to make sure that you have a good early game hunter to really carry him throughout. But, after that, the response picks are going to be the Athena and Giannis.
Yeah, two global ultimates there with Space and Time and Defender of Olympus. So Ivory are going to be wherever they want, whenever they want, and it's going to be interesting to see how Avant can play against that.
Yeah, Avant-Garde, they really like to have that map control, but if Ivory can just get anywhere around the map, that can kind of crumble a little bit. So it's going to be important for Ivory to try and utilize how much mobility that they have. The next pick coming up on your screen here is going to be the Osiris.
Osiris, interesting. So he's not picked that often.
No,
but
not really.
He's still extremely, extremely strong, and Sporks is extremely good at playing that Osiris as well.
Well, we generally see out the solo lane, we generally see these warriors who can heal themselves up, keep themselves going during the fight, and just really extend themselves out for as long period of time as possible. However, Osiris doesn't really have that. What he has instead is a lot of damage mitigation, especially physical mitigation with his passive, as well as the judgment tether. So he works in a similar way, just a little bit more different, more mechanically hands-on.
And Isis now picked up for Oshida in the mid lane there. He does play an extremely good Isis. It's scary to play against, and I fear that Mouse might have a little bit of a hard time because Isis has got so much control in that mid lane.
I will be honest, I have caught myself out sometimes saying that Isis picked up Oshida. Yeah.
And Hunbat's now the return for Ivory. Hunbat's has got that great mobility, he's got a great team fight, and his burst is very, very good with that infused strikes passive critting critting after an ability on your next basic attack.
Yeah, so Humbat's going into the jungle and then immediately banning out a jungler for Avant Garde, taking away the best stats. Target shot towards Row. Best stats been shown a lot during the OPL, very strong early on and controls the game very well. As well as the Ares ban out going to the way banned out by Avant Garde.
Yeah, and it's going to be Tomahawk who's going to be supporting this game. He's subbing for... This is really bad, I don't know who it is.
Well, let's put it this way. Just Jelly used to be the permanent support. However, he's now moved to the ADC role for this match, and Tomahawk is filling the place of support. So it's going to be a Tomahawk Just Jelly matchup in this dual lane.
Yeah. Ooh, Ulla now picked up for...
Ooh, yes.
For Ivory.
Speak of the devil, Just Jelly.
Playing that Ulla, he's got that early game wave clear with his 2 and 3, his 1 and 3 in bow stance. He's got that lifesteal on his axe stance and a straight up stun, which is extremely good to have on an 80 carry.
And paired up with Athena as well, so the Confound going into the axe can be very dangerous. The other thing as well is that Athena's wave clear early on is quite nice, so that's good to pair up with Anula, because even though he does have 2 abilities that he can use to clear the wave out, kind of needs to use both of those, and in turn makes himself very mana hungry. So a good pickup, good little mash of god combinations there.
Yeah, and Naja. Interesting, picked up for Avant, followed by Apollo as well.
Naja, we have not seen him at all. Like, okay, if anyone doesn't know who Naja is, basically it's the little boy who everyone confuses to be a girl, and occasionally people pick him up for jungle. Now, the thing that Naja does very well is locking down a single person. He's got the Armilius Sash, which you'll see extend out, and he'll jump over towards them, and then he'll shoot them up in the air with Windfire Wheels, dealing a whole bunch of damage. The main thing about Naja is that later on, with a full build, with a Deathbringer and all that, some of those auto attacks, especially the long AoE one, can hit to up to 1,000 damage easily.
It's scary.
It's deadly. It's deadly scary. And then you got the Apollo for the split push and the late game. But the final pick is going to be the Odin. Jack is getting the Odin.
Odin against the team comp. How do you feel about that? I mean, it's good against an Isis because it 100% reduces the healing from the circular protection. But no one else really... got no escape. So subfloor on the Apollo, the only way he can get out is by using his ultimate. Biggie can't get out unless he uses a blink, but he can't because he'll be in combat.
Yeah.
Row
can't get out, and the only other person who can get out is Sporks if he uses his ultimate, the Lord of the Afterlife, to jump out.
It's a pretty good pickup here. It's gonna force them to engage.
It is a pickup, but it's always dangerous getting a physical god in the solo lane against an Osiris because he gets physical damage mitigation from his passive every time he uses an ability. Plus, the Judgment Tether gives him all-round damage reduction from his enemies when he's tethered to them.
Yeah, and guys, I just want to point out, if you do see an epic play, make sure you submit the time and what happened by clicking the link below the channel or by typing !top in the chat, and a command will show up for a link to that as well. But we are going to head straight into game. We'll have a very short break, and we'll be right back after these short messages from our sponsors.
The new high-performance Rig 500 headset from Plantronics is designed to match the skills of an aspiring esport player with the gear they need to win. The new modular system gives you the power to adapt, upgrade, and personalize your headset for the task at hand. The Rig 500 series of gaming headsets are engineered to deliver the perfect combination of durable lightweight comfort in an immersive audio environment. 7.1 surround sound and 24-bit audio provide a stunning 360-degree sound field with directional audio. 40mm drivers with low-frequency resonators provide crisp highs and boosted bass. Clear voice noise-canceling technology provides clear communication to your teammates. From the headset company that equips the pros, the 500 series was crafted to meet the needs of esports and competitive players around the world. The new Rig 500 series of headsets from Plantronics. Respect the training. Reactions win.
When the world needs conquerors. When being rare is not enough. And even epic fails. It's time to create your own fate. To become legendary. No matter what kind of enemy you face. Or what kind of game you play. You can become the craftsman of your own legend. It's time to create your own legend. Time to build your victory. Rocket Nef.
Hey there, Smite fans, check it out. See what Sandboxer's about. Printed, 3D print your favorite cards. Printed. Google Consu, Samu.com. And try to collect them all. From image to new wall. You can even score your very own floor. Take out a loan and order more. Printed.
Welcome to game number 1 of Avant vs Ivory Gaming here in week 6, day number 2 of the Smite Oceanic Pro League. Once again, my name is Nightfall, and joining me for this match is gonna be Timmy.
How you doing, everyone? Nice little match we got coming out here, Vanguard Ivory, like you said. And it's going to be a little bit interesting to see how Ivory actually do this team comp. They formed a very high mobility sort of composition, as well with a bit of control.
Yeah, and that Giannis in the mid lane is going to be able to transport everyone on the side of Ivory anywhere they need to be, whenever they need to be. And that Defender of Olympus, like we mentioned in the pick in bans, is going to be able to help out any lane that requires any assistance from the aggression that will no doubtably come from Avant-Garde.
Now, it's no surprise to say that Ivory here are the underdogs. However, if they manage to ward up the jungle, have good communication with each other, and then use Omnimouse, like we said, to use the through space and time to really transport people over, that can be a lot of influence. But we see Avant-Garde are turning the tables. Ivory actually known for doing their early invades quite often, but now Avant-Garde are having a crack at it.
Yeah, and they've forced Ivory away, and there's a ball gonna land onto Ender. Spork's getting a lot of damage in with those basic attacks. Can he actually secure a kill here? Oh wow!
Can he get it?
Can he do it? He only needs one more ability. No, he won't be able to find it. Wow!
So close. He leveled up the sickle strike at first of all. That's the one where he throws out the sickle, and you see the sickle sticking out of somebody's back. So unfortunately, he didn't have the AoE long reach damage, which actually deals more at level 1. However, the reason... Oh, actually, Biggie getting picked up for First Blood. Just Jelly getting credited for that one.
What?
Okay, hold on. What? Okay, so like I said...
see that one.
Like I said, Athena and Ula make a good combination, as we see another bunch of confounds. The axe throw doesn't land, but Suffle, actually getting very low himself, has to retreat.
Will he go down? He's extremely low. No, he will survive. And wow, Ivory playing extremely well in this duo lane up against the powerhouse of Avant Garde.
This is why I was kind of skeptical at the Gab first pick, because he's very easily abused if you really go for it, if you really go aggressive early on. And Ula Athena is just such a good kill combo. Once again, another Confound and Axto coming out onto subfloor. Wow.
This early game aggression coming from Ivory is playing extremely well against Avant Garde, and Tomahawk is landing such great confounds, and Just Jelly following up extremely well.
Now the issue that's going to come out here for Ivory is that Just Jelly's going to run out of mana very quickly. He doesn't have the Transcendence just yet, only the Charge Morningstar, and he only has so much as they go for a little bit more aggression to see if they can really get anything.
Yeah, I know. I really want to see how Avant can respond to this early aggression. Will they draw it out much longer? Will they just force aggression elsewhere so that they can pick up a lead maybe in the solo lane with Sporks or mid? It looks like it's going to be mid though.
For now, they just really have to farm up and wait, because that's a Polo Geb. Windfire Wills, as well as Self Protection, waiting as a trap in the middle. Mouse game picked up as the second blood.
Yeah, and that, wow. It's still surprising to see that first blood was onto Biggie.
Yeah. Ivory really have to keep up that aggression. That is what they really need. They can't let an Apollo and a Gab just farm up, just be passive and do whatever they want to do with minions, because that only leads to a worse and worse late game. Early on, Ivory have this over in this dual lane.
Yeah, they do indeed, but will they force something here?
Oh,
Looks
Rose
like
coming over.
coming around the corner. There's a Confound onto subfloor, and actually there's a Cataclysm coming down. Tomahawk, will he have the dash to be able to get away? No, it does get interrupted, and Ro is able to secure a kill onto the support of Ivory and draw third blood onto Ivory. But will they go for anything here? Any objective takes?
They're going to be looking for these mid camps. It's a nice, easy sort of camp to really get a little bit of extra gold and XP off, as well as secure the timer on that, keep that hidden away from Ivory, so they have to go through that jungle area blind without knowing when it's coming back up.
And it looks like an attack speed steal here for Avant onto the attacks of Ivory, but Ender, he's coming around the corner. He is level 5, and he's got that Fear No Evil if they do want to engage.
No, they're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Avant Garde, very smart decision getting rid of that purple buff from Just Jelly. Slows them down a little bit, slows down the aggression, and gives the advantage back to subfloor. So immediately, very strong.
Yeah, and gold is subfloor sitting on. Will he pick up his Devourer's Glove? No, it looks a wee bit too early here. What does he buy? Still not buying anything, just waiting for it. There he goes, he's got his Devourer's Gloves.
I think he was waiting for a few extra ticks of gold to come out.
Yeah, and he's now on par with Just Jelly, who actually is still up a kill.
Yeah, it's still up a kill. Biggie not really feeling all that affected by this first blood at the moment. Still equal level with Tomahawk. Actually ahead of Tomahawk as well.
Wow, look at this.
By almost 11.
47 walks into two members of Avant. There's Ring of Spears, does go down. Defender of Olympus comes through. There's a Fear No Evil and an ultimate away from Ro. No, he actually lands onto, who was it? Didn't see. There's a Cataclysm going down as well. Jack 47 falls to Biggie, and the team fight is still going on. And here's Sporks. Will he be able to secure a kill onto Ender? No, he won't be able to. Biggie out of mana, and the rest of Avant just going to steal everything away from this jungle.
That's big, giving Ro the speed buff early on. Just going to really allow him to rotate around, steal even more camps, just gank where he needs to, relieve the pressure off from what Ivory is really dishing out. And that's going to be a very dangerous thing for Ivory.
Indeed, and while they were first blooded, like you mentioned just before, Biggie doesn't seem affected at all, and the rest of Avant don't seem to care that Ivory got that first blood and had that short early lead, as they knew exactly what to do.
Well, Biggie is already level 7, almost close to level 8, whereas Tomahawk is just barely past 6. Even though he's first blooded, and Tomahawk has an assist as well as Biggie Biggie's just finding much more gold than an XP than what's his opponent is.
Yeah, and that shows how well these guys play. They're undefeated, and you can see it in their play. They're farming extremely well. They know where to get farm. They know when to be there, and they know how to team fight as well. And it looks like they really want to team fight here in the mid lane. Biggie blinks in. There's a Cataclysm. Rose there as well, but it looked like a beads from Ender stopped the sash coming through from Ro.
Yeah, the Amelia sash, if you do have some kind of cleanse to stop that, Naja will not grab onto you. Quick little fact as well, that sash can hit as a crit.
Yeah, that's
so
quite surprising actually.
It's also very surprising when it hits you as a crit because most of your health gets chunked out.
Yeah, and in the mid lane there is a Windfire Whirls going down onto Ender, getting crit up in the ear, and Rose slams him down, secures a kill, but no fear, no evil was there.
Yeah, so now Subfloor, he is getting bullied out by Just Jelly. Just Jelly knows that he has his advantage early, still fairly equal level, just a little bit behind Subfloor, but he is that Ula. He's got 20 stacks on the Transcendence, so he's got a lot of raw power, as well as the fact that it is an Ula.
Oh, and there's a Defender of Olympus down around the Gold Fury. Ring of Spears does go down as well. Rose secures another kill. He's now 3-0 on Naja, onto Jack 47. 5-1 early game here for Avant Garde.
Yeah, Jack had to use that Spears, just try and slow down Avant Garde, lock them down, keep them from doing whatever. But he kind of sealed his own fate there. He couldn't really get out regardless either way, so chuck it down, see if Tomahawk would be able to do anything. Unfortunately not.
So where do you see the weakness, Ja? Because so far Ro hasn't shown any downside to it.
Well, the weakness is really is early on. Just the ganks, if you are well prepared and you anticipate them and you just try and counter, get off, Nasha, get off, go, leave. Then Nasha can struggle a little bit, but later on, he just hits like a truck.
Yeah, it's absolutely scary. For those of you who don't know, when you're up in the ear and you hit a crit you hit 3 times, and if you time it well, you hit crits. So with a Malice and a Deathbringer, that's extreme amounts of damage. And can nearly one-shot anyone.
Yeah, and also, if Nasha gets a little bit low, you can use the Flaming Spear, which returns a bit of health, up to 25% of your health, whenever you use it, whenever first activated. Depending on how many stacks he has on the passive.
Look at the ward control coming up from Avant Garde. They're supplying wards for Subfloor, because it looks like Tomahawk really wants to try and get something done, but Subfloor knows exactly when he's coming. But Ivory as well with very defensive wards.
They have to be defensive because they're already 5-1. They can't afford to really get caught out anymore. Ro, once again, forming a little band of merry men, 4-man rotations around this jungle, just stealing everything.
Oh, Cataclysm comes out, but doesn't land onto Ender. He's got Somersault away, but now they're going to aggress in the mid lane. Will anything come of this? No, just a Cataclysm on cooldown. And look at these jungle timers. Avant Garde are there within the second to control these jungle camps.
Yeah, they've always been so on point with the timings and all that. Actually, we have engagement on this mid lane. Jack is going to come in the back. Ring of Spears can't cool down right now, locking down Avant Garde.
Oh, and there's a circle of protection as well. Will Tomahawk fall to Ochita? Yes, he will. Jack is trying to make it to the portal. Will he be able to get away?
Oh, no.
All of
it ran out.
Looking for the chase. He's going to jump over to the red buff, but will he actually go down? No, Avant Garde say no. Let's just take the Gold Fury. Let Jack get away. Oh, wow. He actually teleported to the mid lane there.
Yeah, he teleported to the mid lane because he was a little bit worried that Avant Garde would be chasing him down. He couldn't go back because he aggroed the damage buff, and just they didn't have the vision that they needed where Avant Garde were directly standing. They were next to a ward, but not quite on it.
Let's take a look at our graphs now. We've got an 8.6k XP lead for Avant Garde, 10 minutes 39 seconds into the game, and a 4.6k gold lead. That's absurd.
Yeah. You said, let's take a look at the graphs. I looked at them and went, can we not? Just, ooh, no. But yeah, just Avant Garde, they are snowballing out of control already. Everyone besides Subfloor has gone to kill on the side of Avant Garde.
Yeah, and only one person has died, and it's Gee. I mean, reflecting on his deathless up until week number 5, I think it was.
He's only died on Geb. He's only,
Really?
I believe the only time he has ever died is when he's been playing Geb.
He needs to play more Sylvanas.
Yeah, he did. But again, I never saw him die on Sylvanas. Because Wisps are just annoying.
So now we see that the Gold Fury has fallen. Where do you think Avant Garde are going to prioritize their resources?
They're probably going to be looking at either the duo side or the solo side, take out those towers and just kind of free up the burden of either Sporks or Subfloor. Just, you don't have to be here anymore. Tier 1 tower's gone. Go roam, go kill some people. Just have fun. Have fun, boys.
So
That's where I see them moving.
yeah, but what about the mid lane though? It is quite low. I mean, well, actually, it's on the same age as the solo lane.
It's more or less going to be happy accident. There is generally a lot of engagements, a lot of traffic around the mid lane, and if a lot of kills come out, they might just say, "You want to get a tower? We might as well get a tower."
Speaking of the mid lane, look at that, a massive
Biggie!
amount of damage that OCE does. Oh, yeah, speaking of Biggie, he's going to try to take down Mouse, but through space and time, he's still alive with about 10 HP there. And those wing gusts coming from OCE with that spear, the Magus is absolutely insane. There's a Fierno Evil to try and disengage Avant. Will end a fall here. It looks like he will, yes. OCE again with a wing gust. There's a Windfire
look at Jack, though.
onto Tomahawk. Jack trying to look for some sort of engagement, but he gets stunned out and taken down so quickly. No, he's still alive in that ring of spears, but no, he's gonna fall to, again, OCE. He's got an unofficial triple kill here.
Yeah, Avant Garde, they're just muscling the way up to this tower. Ivory, they're just too far behind at the moment, not farmed up quite enough, and don't have the damage. They're losing this mid lane.
Oh, and more engagement from Avant Garde. They do not want to go up. Look how low they are, though.
They're incredibly low. Ender generally runs around with at least less than half health. Just Jelly came in the back, just thought, yeah, I'm the only one on our team with a kill, I can probably do something. No, you're gonna get CC'd to hell by Ro and then half your health's taken off. Go home.
And at the same time, Spork split pushing that right lane. He got the tier 1 tower, so taking a look back at our graphs after that, 13k XP gold, XP lead for Avant Garde and 6.7k gold. Not looking good for Ivory, 11-1.
Yeah, Ivory have to really just try and stall out this game. Just try and look to stop any fights. Not necessarily, fight back to the point where Avant Garde are going to want to try and stop. Because that's not going to happen. They're too far behind. They don't have the muscle power. They need to position themselves well around the map, keep vision control, just see where all of Avant Garde are, and just stall out the game as long as possible.
Yeah, but the later this game goes, I feel it's still in the favor of Avant. That Apollo who can split push with Isis, changes teamfights drastically, and Ro on that Naja, as we mentioned, that late game one-shotting people.
Well, late game, you really, at this point, you're not going to be able to fight them. They're just too far ahead. You're going to try and have to find a point where Avant Garde start hitting that threshold where their snowballing really starts to slow down, when they start to get those builds up and finished, and they start getting, getting past that peaks of power.
Oh, wow.
Just Jelly again taken underneath his own tower by Sub4. The So Beautiful is going to go ahead and pick that one up for him.
And they're really making use of this Apollo ultimate, which in the mid lane there's a Cataclysm going down, and trying to disengage is Ivory Gaming. Actually, no, they're going to fully engage. There's a Fierno Evil going down. OCE, will he fall? Yes,
Ooh.
That's the first death for him this game, and now Ro is in a spot of trouble. He's got that Gib shield though, it's going to keep him healthy, but here is the rest of Avant. Sporks and Subfloor are on the move. Ro secures a kill onto Mouse, and now Avant Garde are still aggressing for the 2 now, and underneath this tier 2 turret that's eventually going to fall to Subfloor, there's a Lord of the Afterlife coming through from Sporks. But no, both teams are just going to disengage. Only 1 kill returned for Ivory.
So, I mentioned earlier on the picks and bans that generally the warriors that you see are these endurance warriors. Typically, a lot of healing, damage mitigation, or even shields, like from the Odin. The thing as well about Osiris, and this is what people really focus on him when people first really ran into him, is that he's got a lot of slows. If you get hit by the sickle and then by the spirit flail, you get slowed incredibly hard. Not to mention he's got the frostbound hammer.
Yeah, he's just adding to the amount of slows. That's easy. And Gold Fury now picked up for Avant. 16 minutes into the game, and they're 11.3k gold ahead. That is not something you see every day.
No, not typically. Like we said from the beginning, Ivory are the underdogs here. Avant-Garde have not lost a game so far. However, Ivory just need to try and show just how well they can try and stall out this game and try and survive themselves. Mouse game picked up by Ro in this mid lane, and Ren Spear is going to come down and lock down Ro.
There's a Fear No Evil going down as well. Circle of Protection as well. They'll secure a kill onto Ender, and then Self-Law secures a kill onto Jack. And now they're going to keep chasing. There's a blink through from Ro. Evades the axe. Very nice juke there. But will this be the Fire Giant start? Yes, it will.
They're doing fire.
17 minutes into the game. What?
They don't care. Most of them are level 17. They don't care. And Sporks is happily just zoning out Just Jelly just so he can't get in there and just try and steal it. And
they take it down extremely clear without having
Through space and time coming through though.
Oh, there it goes. This doesn't hit anyone though. Actually, did it? No, it doesn't look like it did.
I'm not too sure. I was looking up towards the top side. He may have been using to try and snipe out the Fire Giant to try and get the steal. However, it was a little bit off tilt. And it was a little bit too late for it to be that dropship. Just trying to call in cavalry and try and brute force steal the Fire Giants.
We see pings going down from Ivory over to that duo lane, and Avant-Garde now have two options, which is send Subfloor to the duo lane, which is what they're doing right now, or 5-man team fight in the mid lane and just take down that Phoenix. But they're going to probably 4-man after they've all backed and come out of base down to a Phoenix, and they just have Subfloor use their ultimate to come in. But how will Ivory respond to that?
Well, Ivory are already grouping up here into this duo lane, just try and hold down this these towers. This is the last towers besides the Phoenixes that they still have, so it is a little bit of a safe haven in terms of, you know, safety and defense and zoning capability that they have. But Avant-Garde, they're not going to really be all that bothered with it, because they are going to be looking to take this one up.
Oh, that damage onto Ender. He just got 2-shot. Oh, wow.
Like I said, Naja later on. Oh, actually, Biggie blinking in there with the shockwave. Spirit Ball not landing, but 3-man taunts keeping people at bay underneath that tower.
Only for a short couple seconds. When you do taunt, it makes everyone attack you.
Oh, yeah.
Tomahawk taken down extremely low. He's only got a little bit of magic protection from a talisman and a full sovereignty. Other than that, no other protections. And now this Phoenix is falling.
Athena is a little bit like Gab, where if you fall behind early on, you do struggle, because actually Mouse game picked up by Ro there with the Windfire Wheels. Because if you do taunt people, you know, try and peel for your team, try and initiate, you do end up getting burned down just simply because you're not big enough. And even more engagement coming down on this mid lane Phoenix.
Ender is level 12 right now. That's Hawk's level 11 as well. Tomahawk actually secures a kill onto Ro, shuts him down. Ochita returns a kill onto Jack. That is the mid lane Phoenix falling down. 3 kills now for Ivory, but in comparison to 21 for Avant-Garde, oh, not looking good.
Yeah, 21 kills to 3. Now the question is what are Avant-Garde going to do now? They look like they're going to be trying roaming around, get some vision up, as well as try and find some jungle. Cheeky little Spirit Ball coming out from Ochita there. Not going to find the mana camp. But they're going to go ahead, go back, and then when they come back towards the base of Ivory, they may be looking for the kill here.
Yeah, most likely. They've still got Fire Giant for a short amount of time, actually. Can we see the time?
They have about a minute left on it.
Okay, so they're going to try to take down that last Phoenix, or maybe just win a team fight, because they're so far ahead, they got so much damage, and then just end the game. But from this point, it doesn't seem like Ivory have any way back into this game.
No, they've lost too much ground at the moment. They've got 2 lanes of fire minions coming into this Titan, so that's going to slow down their farm just purely because fire minions are really tough to kill sometimes. Yeah. As well as they can't secure any of their buffs, they can't secure Gold Fury, and they're not going to be able to fight Fire Giant unless a miracle happens.
Yeah, and a miracle is extremely short of happening this game. 1 to 3, 20 minutes, 21 minutes into this game, 14k gold, 22k XP, and Jack is getting caught out here. There's a ring of spears, but he's going to fall to Ochita, who's now 7-1. Roe is 8-1, and Sporks is 3-1, and Southlaw, he's 2-0.
Yeah, it's just a lot of kills, not many deaths coming out from Avant Garde, and they're gonna be looking for this right-hand Phoenix. If Ivory don't try and defend this, they'll lose it. And if they do defend it, there's more than likely gonna be them falling down to possibly a deer side.
Most likely, in this mouse, there's a Feno Evil actually pulled disengage from Ender, and this is Avant trying to go aggressive. Phoenix does
there it is.
Not defended, and Ivory, they're on the back foot. What can they do though? Ochita secures a kill, Rose secures a kill onto Just Jelly as well. Nice Confound, it tries to delay them as much as possible. Avant-Garde are going for the kill. Will they actually find it onto the Titan? Subfloor dealing so much damage
good
to
Ring
that.
of Spears.
Ring of Spears does go down, yes, but that will be the game to Avant-Garde. 22 minutes and 1 second into the game. 24 kills to 3, and Avant. Wow.
Yeah,
amazing performance.
We already knew Avant-Garde, they haven't lost a game. They've been absolutely outstanding, stellar. Great map control, great communications, and like we saw, very strong timing and rotations towards those camps, just to try and steal them away, just bleed out their opponents so much. But a good few defenses coming out from Ivory there, especially that last round of Spears, just really locking down 2 members of Avant-Garde, trying to keep them away from the Titan. However, it was just too little too late.
Yeah, and Avant-Garde played absolutely amazing there. They had control over everything, like you mentioned. They played aggressively, and although they fell to first blood, they just said, stuff it, we're still in this. I mean, it's only first blood, and then they come back and only die twice after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have a word with Big E, because it seems that every time he plays Gab, that's when he only dies. Never on anyone else. Maybe he just needs a Gab with a bit of healing in it. Get maybe a mitigate. Still, the mitigate wins off a Hercules. That'll solve him.
Wow, that'd be so OP.
It would be. Imagine if Stone Shield returned health. Ugh.
Unfortunately, due to some replay issues, we can't have game number 2 for you guys. So we're going to have to say Avant-Garde did go 2-0.
Yeah. Unfortunately there for Ivory.
Yeah, and we do apologize for that. We did try our best, but unfortunately with some hot fix issues, we weren't able to get that one for you guys. So we're going to have to nominate our MVPs from game number 1.
Yeah, just straight off the bat, I'm thinking Roe. He had great rotations and ganks early on, especially, just really stopping the fire that was in the duo lane and just allowing Subfloor and Biggie to come back into that game and farm up later on as they did. So I'm going to say Roe for number 1 here.
I agree, definitely. And then number 2 would be Ochita.
Oh yeah,
he did an absolutely insane amount of damage. He got the Spear of the Magus up extremely early, and those wind gusts did insane amounts of damage.
Not to mention a nice use of the Rin Circle of Protection. I've had a few people come up to me and say, why do I keep seeing these Ring of Spears instead of Odin Rings? They don't heal. Well, it doesn't heal if you pop it while the ring's still up. While you put it down, you do get the damage mitigation, so you do have a bit of survivability in it. As well as the fact as it lasts quite a while, so you put it in halfway through a Ring of Spears, you wait until the spears fall, and then bang, you pop it, healed up, no problem, Bob's your uncle.
Actually, John is my uncle, but anyway.
Fanny's your aunt.
You Australians and your weird sayings. Number 3 MVP. Who do you reckon? It's kind of hard to choose, isn't it?
I'm going to go ahead and say Biggie. Because even though he did get first blooded, he did come back very strong, very influential. As well as, I really like that little sneaky play where he tried to roll in the back and get a little bit of a punt kill.
Yeah.
Did run out of distance there, but great job from him just really being unfazed by being first blooded.
Yeah, and that's into the confident play. They play very well from behind. I mean, it's only a tiny lead for first blood, but
Yeah.
It was great play coming from Avant Garde, but that's going to do it for our first set here, guys. Unfortunately, game number 2 was not able to be replayed, and we do apologize again for that.
Yeah,
We're going to take... Sorry, Donnie.
so
After you.
that's going to be it for us for right now. Coming up after a short break, it'll be me and Hughesy. We'll be jumping into the Direwolves versus Chiefs game. Stick around for that one.